Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Kempson, and here I am going to give you a quick overview of Illuminate Education. So, what is Illuminate Education? It's a comprehensive assessment tool that provides qualitative data on your students. It can be used to align the instruction and intervention by targeting where students are deficient. It gives you insight through patterns and data, and it also provides the data in real time. Now, the way you find Illuminate is from your DCSS portal. As you can see, I've blocked off in red this icon here. You want to find this app, and your order may be slightly different from mine, but generally it's in alphabetical order. As long as you find this app, double click, it will bring you to this screen here. Now, some of you may have to log in, and if you log in, please use the same login that you use for your computer sign-on. Sometimes you may not have to re-enter the information, and it'll take you directly to the next phase. After you enter your information, you'll see this screen with your name on it, letting you know that the program is loading. And this is your Illuminate home screen. So the Illuminate home screen, you have two sets of menus. You have your menu here in the center, as well as your menu in blue on the left. So we're going to take a look at both of these. The menu on the left, three main things you'll look for: assessments, reports, and students. If you click on assessments, it gives you a list of assessments created by you or the county. If you click on reports, it gives you a list of reports that you can actually create based on the tests that you've given. And then finally, students, it gives you a list of reports based on students, such as demographics. Then here's your center menu. All of these buttons, again, are accessed from the side menu in blue that's on that home screen. So we're going to go over a few of these. You will use these quarterly assessments that the county gives you. You can use live proctoring. Your milestone reports gives you information on your students. And of course, creating and viewing assessments. So when the county assigns each department a quarterly assessment, you'll find them on the home screen, and it looks just like this. Once you click on the quarterly assessment app, it will pop up and you get to choose the assessment that you want. So as you can see, it lists all the assessments, not just the ones that the county gives. So make sure you pay attention to the test that you actually need to give them. Now, you are required to give your students the QA as dictated by the county, but you're given wiggle room to cover the content, but it should not be longer than a week after the window. So creating the assessment, it can be used for tests, quizzes, and this system actually helps you to dissect the data. You can create these quizzes and tests with your grade and subject level, and you can use it to measure what's being taught and account for all the students. So, how do you create an assessment? The live proctoring is what you'll use just to monitor what answers the students are choosing. Especially when we were digital, we wanted to make sure that they were answering the questions. We wanted to know if they were moving through, if they were just, clicking answers. So this allowed us to see what they would click as they move through the test. This one here, create an assessment. This is what you'll use to create your test. And of course, your flexible assessment is where you can upload a PDF and an answer key. Once you click on the app to create an assessment, these are your best options to choose from. Flexible, this is if you want to upload a PDF of something you already have, and the answer key. The item bank, you can choose questions in the system based on the standards and elements. You can also duplicate this test so it can be a pre and post test. And of course, the new item bank is the same as the item bank, except you cannot duplicate it. So it's just better if you're going to choose questions from the system to use the item bank. So let's take a look at a live version of creating a test. Notice I'm not having to click on anything once I have entered my information. So I will click on Create an Assessment. And again, I'm going to use the item bank. Once I click there, it will take me to my next screen. Give it a few seconds because it's not always very quick. So you're going to get a screen that says Welcome to Item Bank. Here you can choose the kind of content that you want to create. You have an assessment where you can create your own tests, select from the available public and personal items that you may have available. There's quick mode where you can select all the standards that you want to test against. There's item where you can create your own, and of course the passage, which is great for reading or even science passage that basically precedes a group of questions on a test. So I am going to choose quick mode. Click next. Of course, you want to name your quiz. You can add a description, the academic year, grade levels, and subject. And then click Create. So here's the list of where you will find your standards. So let's say I want to create my test for science. I'm going to go to my Standards of Excellence. Going to find Science 2019. And I'm going to find 8th grade. I can also search for keywords, but I want to look at these standards here. And some of them are already listed for you. You can expand, you can collapse, whatever you need to, but this just shows your most recent standards that you've already done. So I want to look at SP81, but I want to use the elements, not just the standards. So let's say I want to look at element A, C, and E. And it lists all of the things that you click on here. And then you simply click Next. So again, you can search by keywords. These are tests that I have already used. So if I would like to implement those, I can. Or I can keep going because again, this is optional. So I would hit Next. So now I want the system to generate questions for these standards that I've chosen here. So once I click on that, it starts to load and then it gives me a list of questions. What I like about this is it tells you the options, whether it's multiple choice, it tells you the difficulty level, and it also tells you the if it's been revised and how it relates to the content. So here it says, what would you need to measure the volume of an irregularly shaped object? It gives you the answer, and again, it tells you the difficulty level, and it tells you kind of where you would find this information. There's only one correct answer. So I haven't chosen a question yet, but let's say I kind of like this, but it's not really what I need. I need something a little tougher or a little easier. I can regenerate the test question. So if it's not what I want, if I click on regenerate, it will give me another test question that is related to that standard or that element. And it's slowly loading. Once it's done loading, it gives you a totally different question. Again, it tells you the kind of question, how many answers, as well as the difficulty level. So you can give feedback on this, or if you think it's a duplicate, you can also say that as well. it tells you what questions you choose based on the standards. Some of the questions will also let you know the taxonomy level, and there are more than just multiple choice options. There are also drag and drops, but again, each one will let you know. And you can always click on view to go to this item, and then you would click add to if this is one that you would like to add to your mock test, and then click close. So this is a preview. It has not been published as of yet. So I will click back on this tab to go here. So once I've gone through my questions and I'm satisfied with these questions, because again, I can regenerate them based on the question, or I can even regenerate them based on the standard. So if I've gone through these and I'm happy with these questions, I would click ready to publish. It lets you look at your assessment before you even finalize anything. And what I love about this is it tells you how the difficulty levels look, the depth of knowledge, the taxonomy level, and the type of items that you have. So remember these over here. These are your item types. Multiple choice. This one is non-traditional selected response. This one, math equation response, and this one would be your drag and drop. If you want to add materials, you can do so here. And then you would publish if you're going to give the test today or tomorrow and you want to set it up. You can click on publish and administer. So I'm not going to do this at that moment because I don't want to publish this test. Now I'm going to click back on create, and I'm going to do standard mode this time. So same as I would before. Name it. You can give it an assessment, description, the academic year, grade levels, and subject, and then click create. Again, I want to find my standards, find your subject, and then of course your grade level. Just like before, you have your standards listed. So we're going to go with A, B, and C. I'm only doing the elements this time instead of the standard itself. Once I've chosen my elements, I would click next. So here you have the selected standards. It says select item bank, select item types, with or without passages, authors, keywords, passage titles, and identifiers. And again, just like before, you have the standards over here that you want to create. So if I click on select item banks, I can say, hey, I want to do public. I want to do stuff that's been done by the county. And if I want to add others, I can do that. And I can click on update filters. And then when I do item types, I want this to be multiple choice along with the constructed response. Again, update fillers. So you can choose what you would like this to look like. And once you scroll down, you'll see you will have those examples. So here's the first question. In what ways are liquids different from solids? It gives you the standard along with the element. And if you click on here, you can see the rationale. So it gives you the type of question, the answer choice, as well as the person who created the test. Okay. Now with this one, if I like this question, I can click add and it'll show up here. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to add a couple of these. The standards don't necessarily show in order, but anytime you want to learn more about it, you can always click on this and it will tell you the rationale behind the item, who created it, and the type of question it is. So if I've added all of the questions that I like, and here's a constructed response question, and the constructed response questions are ones that you will grade. I'm done with my test. I click next. It shows me the questions that I chose. And then I have the option to shuffle my answer choices. So here is my test. I would click next. I can choose print options for font size, the spacing. If you scroll down, constructed response, how many lines, the teacher editions. So there are other things that you can add, and it shows you an example of what it would look like with different columns, full pages, and different views. And you can generate a printed version of this as well. Once you've done that, or you don't have to, unless you have a student who needs a printed version, click next. So here I am, again, the data analysis. So it helps you know which questions you have and what questions you should add or take away from. Here I have one constructed response, multiple choice, selected response, how many questions I have, and the groups. Again, you can add the materials. It tells me how many questions per standards, multiple choice, and constructed response. And again, I would publish and administer if I'm going to do this today or between today and tomorrow, if I want to set it up early, or I would just simply click publish. Once you've done that, you are done with creating your test. So once you've created your test, you need to know about the different reports. So once I've published my test, let's say I want just to see the test that I have created. I can click on View Assessments. And remember, I chose not to publish these at the time, so they're located in my draft item bank. So I can click on Action, Edit, and Delete. And I'm going to delete these because I don't want these to show up. It gives you a pop-up menu so you don't delete by accident. Yes, I'm sure the assessment is the one I want to delete, and yes, delete the assessment. If you change your mind, you can click on the green. And once you've deleted it, it's gone. So you don't have to worry about giving that test by mistake again. So once your students have taken the test, then you want to look at your reports. Your reports are going to tell you whether you need to remediate or move ahead and make things a little bit more challenging for your students. So the reports will be listed here. And it even tells you the ID number, the owners, when it was created, the last time it was accessed, and again, you have your options here. If it's green, that means it has data. If it's not, there is no data. No students took the assessment. So here's where you'll find data to use. It tells you a brief snapshot if you click on Overview. And you get to this by clicking on the test itself. So you'll also find the performance, and it tells you by standards. It will give you the frequency response, and here is just the bottom page of the response frequency. I wasn't able to fit it all on one, but it breaks it down even further here as to how many were incorrect, the total possible points, whether there was no response, and what response was chosen. And again, here is the achievement gaps. So it lets you know how the students did by special ed or any type of demographics. And this is more data that you can use. So if you are doing reports and you're not sure where to start, it actually tells you where to start. So if you click on where do I start for teachers, it will give you these responses here. So there are assessments that will help you, and simply going through these tabs, it will let you know where you need to be. Okay, so when you go to where do I start for teachers, blue highlighted words will give you more information. So what does the data show? What kinds of questions does it answer? So you can find out which report will be best for you. And then, of course, you have the PRA, which will take you to a separate menu, which is the personalized review assignment. So this wraps up how to create a test and the reports that you'll use. Are there any questions? If so, please, please, please email me. I am available, and I hope this quick overview will help you with being able to assess your students. Have a great day.